Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. As promised, the PS5 content starts today and I'm going to be unboxing this bad boy. I mean, it's that big, I can't even get it in the camera. We're going to be unboxing the PS5. I'll give you a quick tour of the console and we'll go through the setup process as well. Plenty of PS5 content to come on the channel, so make sure you hit subscribe and hit that bell notification. Let's get into it. Before I start, I just want to say how big the box actually is. And I have seen videos and there's no exaggeration, it is a large box. However, I do also have the PS4 Pro box here, and actually in terms of at least height it's very similar. But as you can see, the PS5 is a lot deeper just from the box itself. So let's have a look around the box. You've got 8K, 4K, 120 Hz or 120 frames per second up in the top right hand corner with HDR as well. I'll be very surprised if you get anywhere near 8K. Even 4K 120 is going to be a push based on the hardware that's in the PS5. You'll also need a compatible TV with HDMI 2.1 as well to access that. Nothing else really in terms of around the box. We've got a list of contents: PlayStation 5 console, wireless controller, the base, so you can stand the PlayStation up vertically or have it horizontally, the HDMI cable, AC power cord, USB-C cable, printed materials, and Astro's Playroom is actually pre-installed. And on the back, and again just a graphic of the PlayStation and the controller, lightning speed, breathtaking immersion, and stunning games. Can't wait to try this out. Let's get into the box. Pop that to one side. So you've got a box within a box. And a box within a box within a box. Okay, so I assume that's all your... Yeah, we'll go through that in a moment, all the accessories and the controller. And then we've got the PlayStation itself. Which I have to admit is a bit of a struggle getting out. And there we go. So I'll just unwrap the PS5. I mean, that is a pretty big console and it's quite heavy as well. Wow. So just quickly take you through and around the device. On the front, we've got your power button and eject button. This is a disc-based version. There's also a digital version available. You've got a USB-C port there. And you've also got another standard USB slot as well. And on the back, it's where your power cord's going to go. HDMI 2.1. You've got a LAN cable there. I would always advise gaming with a connected directly up to your router rather than using the wireless. And we've got two USB ports on the back as well. I'll just pop that to the one side and go back to the accessory box. Hopefully you can still see that. Some quick start guide, safety guide, the usual. Power cord there. We've got that new Dualsense Controller. See if I can give you a closer view. And this is the first time I've actually held the controller, but wow. Looks amazing. I'm really looking forward to testing this out with the new features like the adaptive triggers, which will come into their own when you actually powered up the system, and the haptic feedback as well. Okay, we've also got, let's have a look, the HDMI 2.1 cable. I advise you use this cable, especially if you're going to get a newer TV as well that's got HDMI 2.1 ports, and that's going to allow you to actually access that 120 Hz at 4K. Some games that are going to come out, you're going to be able to hit 120 frames per second, potentially. We've also got that stand. You're going to need to use this whether you place a console vertically or horizontally. You should also have, and that final USB-C cable as well to charge up your Dualsense controller. So in terms of connections, you've got obviously your power cable on the left, that HDMI cable, using the one that's supplied in the box as I recommend, and the Ethernet cable as well. And again, if you can, always wire up your console directly to your router to make sure you get the fastest speeds for online gaming, and then we are set. So as I mentioned, you're going to need to use the stand regardless of which position you want to put your PS5 in. If you just slide the base until it clicks, there is actually a screw that's sit in this partition here. I've already taken it out, and the idea is then that you can then push that through that hole, screw it into whatever position on the PS5 depending on it's vertically or horizontally. As I'm going to be standing this up vertically, if you turn the PS5 upside down, there's a little nub here you can then take out, and the idea is then it will then clip, and I'll have to work that out, I think it's that way. Clip the PlayStation in place and screw into position. Having a spare nub, I mean, if I want to change it to horizontally at some point, I'm going to probably end up losing this bit. Let's get moving on to setup. And here we go, guys. First thing we need to do is connect the Dualsense controller up to the PS5. Okay, select language. I'm in the United Kingdom. English. Just display area. Circles should fill the screen without showing any black borders. I think it pretty much does that. Okay. Just HDR. Just show PS5's HDR setting. To optimize the video quality of your games, press all down buttons to adjust the brightness until the symbol is barely visible. That's probably about right. Adjust HDR 2 out of 3. Adjust this setting a second time. Press the down buttons. And final one, press when the symbol is barely visible. If you have a game disc, insert it now. When install it while you continue with setup. I quite like that. From what I've seen so far, the PS5 is a lot better at multitasking than the PS4 was. So installing games, copying games over from your HD, etc. You're going to still be able to go and do other things on the PS5 whilst that's going ahead. I'm going to continue without a disc for now. Power options for rest mode. I mean, this is one of the benefits of being a week behind the US launch, is that there has been a lot of issues with rest mode, and in some cases the consoles have been bricked. So I don't know how we can amend that from here, but what I might do is just leave it on low power use. Some of the features disabled, doesn't apply any updates. They'll download but and install the console is on, and it doesn't charge controllers. Optimized state, you can turn it on remotely. I mean, my preferred selection really is optimized experience, because you can turn it on remotely from your from the PlayStation app. It charges your controllers when it's in rest mode, etc. But I'm just going to put it in low power use, just again because of what I mentioned about some of the issues that have gone on. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's going to read that. Update system software to use network features and get the most out of your PS5. Okay, so there is a system update. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. I mean, that was pretty quick. It was a bit nerving, to be honest, because the screen went black for a few seconds and didn't really tell me what was going on. And the PlayStation 5 just rebooted. Another part of the installation, but once this is complete, it will automatically restart. So we'll skip this bit and see you in a moment. And now we're back in. So again, it restarted. To be honest, that whole process didn't take too long. Press the PS button on your controller to get started. A new version of the wireless control device software is available. Your console won't need this. Let's update. So I mean, that's a really neat feature. The ability to update the wireless controller software. I mean, you know, this is next gen, guys. This is really next gen. This is where we sign into the PSN. So you can actually enter your details manually on the left, as you can see, but you can also use the PlayStation app to easily sign in. So if you've already got the PlayStation app and you're already logged in, seems like the quickest route to getting logged into your PS5. You might want to download that. Let me go ahead and do that and I'll catch you up in a moment. Actually, it's probably just worth showing you that you can either scan the barcode in that's on the screen, or you can enter the code that's displayed manually to log into the PS5. I'm going to do that right now. And here we go. We should be logging into the PlayStation. And now we need to adjust privacy settings by choosing a profile. Choose a profile that fits how you like to play online. Social and open, so I assume that's probably the least amount of restrictions. Team player, effortless multiplayer, but I limit who knows my real identity. Friend focused, anything for my crew, more restriction for strangers. Solo and focused, I keep a low profile and choose who I interact with. Review your current settings. Personally, I'd like a bit more detail into what each of these privacy settings entails, but for now I'm going to go friend focus. We can always adjust this in the settings menu anyway. Your friends know you best. They can see your gaming history, games, broadcasts, and chat with you. In fact, your real name be only visible to friends on PlayStation Network who you choose to. That seems about right for me actually. So apply. Data collection, help us build the best experience. We have services. I'm personally going to go for limited data. Until I know exactly what information they are collecting, I'd rather keep it to a minimum. Secure your account. You stay still signed into PlayStation Network unless you sign out from the settings. Following is recommended. Set a passcode so that other people can't log in. Basically, when you turn on your PlayStation, you'd select your account and have to put in a passcode. And there's an option as well to always require a password for making purchases. I mean, if you've got children, for example, I know you can set up family accounts, but if you don't want to do that, but you want to restrict them from making purchases, then you can put a password on for any purchases so that you don't get a huge PSN bill. I would advise you to do this. Two-step verification is pretty standard in many applications nowadays. Whichever one suits. Personally, I'll go for a text message, but I will do this later just in terms of getting this video moving. You can set up a family account, so if you have children, and I do have children, then you can restrict the kind of content that they get to see. Download media apps. I do not have Disney Plus, I do not use Now TV, I do not have Apple TV, but I have Netflix, YouTube and Prime Video. I'll be interested to see what other media apps are going to be coming down the line. I do use Plex actually, so I've got a NAS drive and I stream all my media off Plex, so it'd be great to see a Plex app. Transfer data from your PS4. So I'm going to leave this for now. I'm going to put a video together on that later. There's various ways of transferring your data from your PS4, and personally the one I believe is probably the best and quickest, if you can, is to move all of your data onto a external drive, because then it's simply a plug and play. So we'll do that later. Let's get going. Welcome to the PlayStation 5. That's it. I'm in. So you got a PlayStation Store. Astro's Playroom, I'm going to jump into in a minute. PlayStation Plus, PlayStation Now, Media Gallery, so that I assume that's where your captures are going to be held. Share Factory, so I do actually use Share Factory on the PS4, so I may do another video on the newer version for PS5 just to see what that looks like, and I might even do a bit of a comparison in terms of rendering time. I do expect the PS5 to render your videos a lot quicker than the PS4, but then you can capture videos, I do believe, in 4K, so that might offset that. You can also use Remote Play on PC, Mac or Android, and PS4, so you can connect directly from PS4 to your PS5 and vice versa. And then here's your game library. So interestingly, this is my game library. It must be pulled straight from my PlayStation Store, because, for example, COD Modern Warfare, I've got it on PlayStation 4, I've got the disc version, but it's shown up on here, and I assume if I try and load that, I mean, it's locked. So as I mentioned before, probably the best process is to stick all your PS4 games onto an external drive and plug it in. But for now, guys, I'm going to leave it at that, because I want to jump in and start having a play with my new console. Plenty of videos to come, as I mentioned before, so make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video.